Hey, this is Marcus, and instead of doing a separate video reintroducing through the Bible in 5, as we begin again with Psalm 99, I'm just going to use this introduction to Psalm 99 to say that after taking as long a break as we have taken, this video seemed to get off to kind of a slow start. But in spite of the slow start, hopefully this will be a blessing as we continue on through the Bible, a chapter a day, hoping to give you something that will bless you in this journey through life. As we often say, God's best you as you go forward in Him, though, beginning again with Psalm 99. All right, Psalm 99, let's call this week's set of lessons Freedom Without the Side Effect. In this psalm, which is going to start out as basically a plea to God or a recognition that God is exalted. So it's going to spend the first 3 verses talking about his status before it goes into the second 2 verses, verses 4 and 5, talking about his priorities before it goes into the final 4 verses or so, talking about his kindness to his people, which first reminded me that power without a healthy set of priorities and a good heart really means nothing. It can actually mean nothing more than tyranny. And so this psalmist is reminding us that God is not simply about power. He is about a healthy set of priorities that we can trust and the kind of heart that we can rely on to forgive us, as that third section is going to talk about the way in which he forgave and listened to his people, but he also held them accountable, which reminded me of another set of sub-themes that are going on in this psalm, where he is going to talk about, okay, who are we supposed to be in response to a God who is not only powerful, but has his head on straight. He has a healthy set of priorities and a good heart. Well, in response, he's going to say we need to do at least 2 things, and that is 1, worship him, which is basically give credit where credit is due. But beyond simply giving credit where credit is due, we need to be careful to exalt him, because as we said, the first section reminds us that, as we said in the sermon on Psalm 99, we can't add anything to his status. He simply is who he is, but we would be wise to recognize who he is. Why? Because we can fall easily into the temptation to get super enthusiastic about worshiping a God that simply doesn't exist, a God that we created, as opposed to the God who is. And so when he is saying that we should not only respond to the God who is by worshiping him, it says that we should even further exalt him, understanding that anything else is maybe just a delusion. And the reason why that is important is because even though we may have the freedom to create God in the image of anything we so choose, ironically enough, the gods that we create frequently give us permission to do things that create side effects, both intended and unintended, for the people around us. And sometimes even beyond that, side effects for people we don't see. Side effects for which the God who is still holds us accountable. Which is why my prayer for you is my prayer for me, that we learn to love the God who is, so that, God willing, we can avoid the consequences of the harms done by the gods we created.